Have you ever watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Have you ever seen in the very beginning where it says, based on a true story? What if I told you it was? What is up? It is me, SB, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is me, SB, and welcome to my YouTube. So today we are going to be doing a true crime and simple little Halloween makeup look. So literally for this makeup look, all you need is this little spiderweb thing from Michael's. It was $5.99. I literally just purchased this whole thing, and you will see in the video how I applied it. You will see how I did this little makeup. I did kind of that chrome little look to match that little color blend of that spider. So today is not only a makeup video. I was just doing my makeup to keep me occupied, what I told you guys about. Not a notorious serial killer. He is just a killer. He didn't, serial kill. But I will be talking about Ed Gein today. Viewer discretion is advised. This is a horrific story. This is basically, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is basically that times 5 because it is times 10 because it is based on a true story, and it does get very, very dark. So viewer discretion is advised. If you are under 18, do not watch this. If you are scary, if you have nightmares, do not watch this. No. If you want to see how I did the makeup look, go ahead and just watch it on mute because it's graphic. It's very graphic. Again, I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. I hope you enjoyed this Vlogtober. Next year, I do want to do way more videos. I do want Vlogtober to be fire next year. But for now, this is a fire little makeup look. Like I said, an easy little, quick little 30-minute makeup look. It did take me about an hour to do this. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And see you guys later. Enjoy the spectacularness. Anywho. Yeah, enjoy the video. See you. Okay, so let's get into the video. So I decided to do this murderer, I'm going to call him, because he's technically not a serial killer. So he's a murderer, and the reason that I'm doing this one is because I wanted to do a murder mystery that was spooky, because it's almost Halloween, and I feel like Ed Gein is literally the worst murderer. Like, he's not even a serial killer, and he's probably the worst person that I've done research or watched a video on about his true crimes. So let's go ahead and get into his story and what it was he was out here doing, because it's about to blow y'all mind. So Edward Theodore Gein was born on August 27th, 1906. He was born to Augusta and George Gein. So Augusta, in her growing up, she was raised very strictly. So very strictly and very religiously. Her father would make sure she would stand on top of whatever it is that she needed to do by making sure he regularly beats her. So her father was very abusive. She did come from an abusive household. And then she met George Gein. Now, George, he was orphaned at a young age because, unfortunately, his whole family died. From what I did find, I believe that his family drowned. From what the research that I was doing, is his family drowned. So he's orphaned. She came up in a very bad household. So they finally got married on December 11th, 1900, which is crazy. I keep wanting to say 1990. But 1900, they got married. And January of 1902, they had their first kid, which was Henry Gein. And then August 1906, Ed Gein was born. Now, Augusta and George's relationship was not good, honestly. He was an alcoholic and she was verbally abusive. She was literally known for verbally abusing George. Like, you're worthless, you're weak, going in on dude. And then she was verbally abusive. He was an alcoholic. And it said that after working hard, he would go to the local tavern and get wasted. After he got wasted, I seen something. So this is kind of one of the parts of my research that I was kind of confused on. Because it said that he would get drunk and then he would go home and he would beat on Augusta. And that kind of, I don't know. I don't know how true that is. And I say that just because they said that Augusta is verbally abusive. And you know, in a domestic violence situation, usually it's an abuser and it's someone who just takes the abuse, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe both of them was abusive. I don't know. Either way it goes, Ed's home life was not good growing up. And like I said, Augusta, she was verbally abusive. And all around, from everything that I've read, it just sounds like she was a mean person, a bad person. She ended up hating where they were living in La Crosse, Mass. I hope that's how you say the city. But she hated La Crosse, Mass. So she made the move to Plainfield, Wisconsin in a 155-acre farm, which is a lot of acres. And once they moved to this 155-acre farm, Augusta basically used this as a way to isolate her boys. Like I said, Augusta grew up very religious, so she wanted to isolate her boys and make sure that they were not around any type of anything. So, like I said, boys would only be able to go to school, come back home, and then do their house chores, and that was it. They couldn't have friends or anything. And Augusta felt like every woman outside of herself was a whore. Yes, a whore sent from the devil. That is what she used to tell her boys, that women were whores sent from the devil himself. And because they were so isolated, Ed and his brother Henry did not have those social skills. So in school, Ed was labeled as, the weird kid. Which, from what I've seen, they said that he used to bust out laughing randomly in class. And when he was asked what was he laughing at, he would say he made a joke and he laughed at his joke. Which, me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with that, because I laugh at my jokes. I'm a hilarious person. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I felt like that was normal, but apparently it's not. So he would bust out laughing at his jokes. So he didn't have many friends because he was considered a weird kid. And when he did make friends, Augusta would basically run them off. Augusta would basically tell Ed he could not have friends because she did not want her kids to be influenced by other kids into the wrong way. Like I said, very religious. She was so religious that every night she set the boys down and read them the Bible, read verses out of the Old Testament to the boys every night. Which, that's nothing bad. If you're a religious person, I understand. But using your religion to scare your kids into being isolated, I don't get that. Augusta was not the lightest or the greatest parent. Ed still adored his mother. Like, he loved his mother. And that's okay, you know. We all love our parents. But Ed was in love with his mother, like, borderline had a crush on his mother. And tragedy first struck this family on April 1st of 1940 when George passes away. So George dies of heart failure, a heart condition, on April 1st. And once George died, Ed and Henry kind of had to pick up those pieces and be the man of the house at this point and go out and get odd-end jobs to make money to help, you know, pay the bills, raise the family, all of the things. At one point, Ed was even a babysitter. And it said that he could more so relate to children than adults because, and like I said, he lacks social skills. So 9 times out of 10, he could relate better because those kids understood him, and he understood the kids because he was socially awkward with adults. They were out working. Henry ended up meeting a young lady. She was a single mother of 2. He ended up hitting it off with her. They ended up dating. Now, y'all know how Augusta felt about women. They ended up dating, and they were planning on moving in with each other. Like I said, Ed adored his mother. So, Ed was going to do whatever his mom said. While Henry wanted to live a little bit. So, he started dating and things like that. Now, when he started dating, he tried to get Ed, to step out more, to step out of his shell, start dating maybe, find some friends and find things that he wants to do other than being isolated with his mother all the time. And even then, he would sometimes speak ill of Augusta to Ed. Like I said, Ed loved his mom. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm sorry, I'm ruffling through these brushes. I'm just trying to find me a good brush. Henry used the bad mouth of Augusta to Ed, and Ed did not like that. On May 16th, 1944, Ed and Henry were outside on the farm doing a little work, and they were actually burning marsh vegetation. Quite frankly, I have no clue what that is, but also I don't have to be on the farm, so, well, I'm not on a farm, so I really don't, And then the fire, it said that the fire got out of hand to where the fire department actually ended up coming out. So when the fire department came out, they put the fire out and everything. And then after the fire was out, fire department and police left. That is when Ed realized Henry was missing. So Ed realized Henry was missing. So he decided to contact the police and put a missing person report out on him. Once he did that, the police and everything came out to do a search party looking for Henry. And they searched all over the farm until they actually end up finding Henry. They found Henry face down, dead. It appears that he had been dead for quite a while. When the autopsy was done, it was said that he did have bruising on the back of his head. However, they ruled it as a accidental death. However, suspicious, right? Suspicious. And then about a year later, Augusta ended up suffering a really bad stroke that left her paralyzed. So she was bedbound. And with her being bedbound, Ed was the primary caregiver. So he was taking care of his mother. And even with him being her primary caregiver, she was still nasty to him. So she would still basically bully him. Tell him he was worthless. He wasn't doing a good job. Basically just being a horrible parent, quite frankly. And then in December of 1945, Augusta suffered another stroke. And this, I don't know how true this is, but I was doing some research on what happened. It said that Augusta ended up going to visit, I guess, one of her little male friends. I don't know if it was like a male friend or just a male friend. But she ended up going to visit her friend. And it said that his name was Smith, and he was outside beating a dog. And the dog was crying. He was beating the crap out of the dog, apparently. The dog was crying. And then a woman stepped out of Smith's house and basically was telling him to stop beating the dog. And like I said, Augusta was very religious. And like I also said, Augusta felt like all women were whores. So it says that she started to yell at the woman that was in Smith's house and called her Smith's little harlot. And she was so upset by this other woman being at Smith's house that she had another stroke. And this time, unfortunately, she did pass away, and she did die from that stroke that she had. But like I said, I don't know which portion is 100% true. However, from everything that I've seen with Augusta, She probably was calling that girl a harlot and ended up in that upper room. That was not nice. At the time of his mother's death, Ed was 39 years old. He did not have any social skills because, like I said, his mother did not allow any of that. So he didn't have any social skills. He was just living. Like, his mother was basically his everything. And he was extremely devastated by his mother passing. After that, he just became more of a hermit than what he was. He started to board up the house. So parts of the house that he was not using, because this was a farm. It was 155 acres. It was huge. The house was huge. There was many rooms. It was a big house, and it was just him at this point. So he started boarding up the houses. However, he left one room completely the same. Well, I'm going to say an area. He left his mom's stuff completely the same, and basically like it had frozen in time. Basically like a shrine to her. He left everything the same. But all of the other stuff in the house was boarded up, and it said that he stayed in one room that was right off of the kitchen, and that was basically his bedroom. That is where he stayed. He didn't, go around the house. And then, like I said, he became a hermit, which he already was, but he would only literally go into town for groceries. And I have to clean that up. He would only go into town for groceries, and then also to have a beer at the local pub that was there. It was called Mary Hogan's Tavern. And then one day, December 8th, 1954, Mary Hogan's, the owner of Mary Hogan's Tavern, goes missing. You see where I'm headed with this? I don't know why this still look blotchy. I don't know why it's giving blotchy. Mary Hogan goes missing. All that's left is a pool of blood in her tavern. No one knows where she went. No one. There's no leads. So there's nothing done about that for a very, very long time. Ed would go around and he would be making very dark humor jokes, basically saying that Mary was spending the night at his house. Like, I don't know. Like, why would you make a joke? I don't know how they didn't catch on to that, because that was not funny. Like, this lady is missing and you're making jokes, Ed. And Ed was already weird, so I'm not understanding how nobody kind of caught on to that. But anywho, they didn't. I hate the way that this makeup looks right now, and it's stressing me out. November 16th, 1957, Frank Warden, he comes home after a long day of deer hunting. So he comes home to check on his mother. He goes to his mother hardware store to, I guess, just check on her. It's his mom. He goes to check on her. The door is unlocked at the hardware store, which is, okay. He goes in and weirdo. So he goes in to check on his mother. When he goes in to check on his mother, he noticed, like I said, the door was open. Okay. But he's looking for her. She's nowhere to be found. What he finds like a trail of blood leading to the back exit, as well as a receipt. Now this receipt is for half of gallon of antifreeze, and it is made out to no other than Ed Gein. So with that information, Frank then decides to contact the police and let them know his 58-year-old mother, Bernice Warden, is missing. There's a pool of blood. The last person to purchase something from the store was Ed. And with that information, the police goes to Ed's home to question him. Now, with the questioning, they end up searching his place. How they got there? They got there, which is the most important part. They do find Bernice. they find Bernice hanging in the back. They said like the back kitchen. So I know that back in the day they did have like back kitchens. And I suppose this farmhouse had a back kitchen. So they find Bernice hanging in the back kitchen by her feet. Yes. She is hanging from the ceiling by her feet. Her torso is cut literally from her chest down to her pelvic bone. Some of her organs is missing. He's basically hanging her upside down to drain the blood out of her body. Not only that, Bernice is decapitated. And with this, they decide, okay, let's go ahead and search the whole property. And baby, y'all would not believe what they found in this man's house.
Let me finish this because it's a long list of stuff. It's a long list. And I have to look at the actual list because it's so much. Like, he's a wild boy for this. So give me 1 second.
So they did end up waiting on backup to arrive before they finished searching the house after they found Bernice. And they end up finding so much stuff. They end up finding whole human bones and fragments. They end up finding a trash can. Yes, a little wastebasket made of human skin. Yes, real human skin. You heard me. Real human skin. They end up finding a chair. A chair that was upholstered with real human skin. Now, you know what if you don't know what upholster means. If you ever seen a regular chair, and on that chair it has like just the seat part is fabric. That's upholstered. It was upholstered with skin, not fabric, skin. And if that isn't enough, they found skulls that was made into soup bowls. So Ed was just over there enjoying him some meals out of skull. And I seen a comment that said Jeffrey Dahmer was over there trying to keep a skull. Meanwhile, Ed was over there eating out of skulls. And that was just crazy. And if you know Jeffrey Dahmer and you know Ed Gein, if you get the joke. Anyway, he had skulls on his bedpost. Real skulls. All of this is real. Skulls on his bedpost. He had a box of noses. Yep. Real noses. The definition of I got your nose. It was him. He had a box of noses casually, just under the bed. Like a little secret little hiding spot for his noses. They end up finding Mary's face in a plastic bag. Now, her face had been literally cut off of her skull. So it was literally just the meat of her face in a plastic bag. They basically found all type of body parts. They found tongues, fingernails, women genitalia. Yes, dried up women genitalia. This is the one that kind of really was like, what? They found a belt that you wear. They found one made of women nipples. So it was just like a belt and a belt buckle, the belt, and just nipples all around it, apparently. Why didn't nobody seem to notice this belt? I wonder if he ever really wore it out and if anyone noticed, like, oh, that's kind of a freaky belt. He has nipples on his belt and just didn't think nothing of it, or what? Like, that part is what kind of, like, crafty little young man. They end up finding a bloody burlap bag. Inside of this blood-soaked burlap bag, they end up finding Bernice's head. Bernice had very long nails sticking in her ear, and then a piece of twine that connected the two. Yes, a piece of twine. And when he was interviewed on what was he going to do with Bernice's head, he actually said that he was going to hang her head up for decoration. That's not even the worst part. There were 9 faces. 9 women faces that were just casually on his wall. Like, he had a picture wall of faces. Yes. Yes, faces. Yes, faces. Like, that is so crazy. Like, imagine walking into somebody's house and they have real human faces laid out on their wall. He had a shade pole of women lips. He had a long sleeve. He's a hand sewn long sleeve shirt with breast. He sewed a woman's breast onto this bodysuit made of skin. So it was like a bunch of skin put together, made into a long sleeve bodysuit shirt. He also had leggings that he hand sewed as well. Along with those leggings, he also had a corset he hand sewn, made from women's torso. I wonder if that was multiple women or just one woman, because, like, how crafty are you to sit up here and sew somebody's skin together? That's just wild. So, like I said, bro had a whole outfit. He had the leggings, the corset, the long sleeve shirt with the boobs that were already in there. Now, what was he doing with this? What was he doing with this outfit? He was putting on this full skinned outfit made of woman's skin that he hand sewn. Putting it on and pretending to be his mother. He would dress up like his mom and walk around the house and pretend to be his mother. Do you hear me? He took Mama's Boy to a whole nother level. He would put on this a whole outfit he made of human woman's skin and walk around in the house and pretend to be his mother. When he gets caught, he confesses to killing Bernice. However, he says that he did not kill Mary. For a couple of years later, he did end up confessing to killing Mary. I don't know what made him change his mind, but he did end up confessing to killing Mary after a couple of years. But for some reason, they only had convicted him of one first-degree murder charge. It was about a total of 15 victims in his house. The other bodies, he did not kill. The other bodies, he would go to his local cemetery, and him and his friend Gus would dig up bodies. Ed would take those bodies home and do arts and crafts with the bodies. However, Ed said that the skin that had been dead would be very tough to sew and it would not work out for him. It would be hard and rough, so he decided to get fresh skin. He decided to get fresh skin, so he decided to kill. On November 21st, 1957 is when he was arraigned on one count of first-degree murder for Bernice. And with that, he pled not guilty due to insanity, which, I mean, we all can agree. Yeah. Yeah. You're insane. And during this time, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he was found mentally incompetent to stand trial. So they sent him over to the General State Hospital for the criminally insane. And then 10 years after that, that is when the doctors finally did say, you know, he can stand, he was competent enough to stand trial. So that is when they started the trial for him. November 14th, Ed Gein was found guilty. Of course, he was found guilty and he was sentenced to go back to Central State Mental Hospital, where he eventually died from upper respiratory issues following lung cancer. So he passed away July 26, 1984 at the tender age of 77. So that's just crazy. I hope that you guys get the gist of exactly how crazy it is. I'm still not even halfway done with my makeup. I thought this was going to be a long story. Obviously not. But this is based on a true story. Like, this guy really made a nipple belt. This guy really, I wonder, I don't know. I feel like he was not a serial killer, because he had only murdered those 2 people. So that does not classify as a serial killer. However, what if he was lying about those other bodies? I'm pretty sure they did a police investigation and stuff, but like, just what if? What if there was a chance that he really murdered all them women and nobody knew? And like I said, I did say that they did find female genitalia at his house. From what I read, it was 15. It was about a 15-year-old. It was I read 2 15-year-old vulvas. That was the genitalia they found, and that's just crazy. So now you just want to take this off of here carefully. And then you just want to line it up wherever it is you want. I kind of want to do... Oh no. Oh.
Going too far, like.
So I think I'm gonna cut right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of that excess spider web off, just so that I can take some other pieces and put it where I want it.
And then you see how you got those loose places?
You just want to take some duo.
Eyelash glue. And rub it on the back of there.
And then off camera, I just went in, I did my waterline, I put on my lashes, my mascara, and now I'm just going in with my Morphe black lipstick and lining my lips with that black lipstick. Then I'm going to go in with my Dose of Color Sand liquid lipstick, and I'm going to put that right in the middle and blend that out. And I am taking the edges of my lipstick and just pulling them out a little bit to give me more of that clown-esque lip look. And just to add a little bit more glam, I am just adding the rest of that spider web on my other eye, just to add a little more razzle zazzle, you know? So this is the final look. I love it. Like, it's very cute, and I'm mad that I'm in the house tonight. If I was going out with this, though, I probably would cut that piece off. Like, literally. Did I mess my makeup up under here? Just go. Boom. Because, and you can even take this and just, maybe. Nope. I wish I would have thought that out, but I didn't. But it's fine. This is fine. This is still cute. It's still giving very much Charlotte's Web, you know. But yes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys did not, you know, cause any hurt or any stress, because this was indeed a very wild story. I will have all of the items that I used in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was a little spooky and everything you needed to make sure that your spooky season is closed out with a bang. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.